All right, y'all, so let me give you a little walk around on this walk-in cooler that we did here. Right now, we've had some high temperatures. I don't know how well you can see it, but we've gotten up to 123. That's going to be a surface temp. Right now, it's 81 outside ambient temp, and our inside temp is showing to be 34 degrees. The whole thing was done with a CoolBot and a 15,000 BTU window air conditioner. It's a 110 plug-in, not a 240. The reason being, going with the window unit instead of a compressor on top. If it goes out on the weekend or something like that, I can go to Walmart, go buy another one and throw it in there. It might have to be a 12,000 BTU or something like that, but it'll get us by. We bought the, I bought the walk-in cooler. I found it on Facebook and was able to get it for like $300. I'll put some pictures in here. It's been a few years ago, but I went and got that. I picked it up. We had to drive like 2.5 hours away, but the guy needed it gone in like within 48 hours, and I was the only one that could get there and get it done. So I took lumber up with me. I didn't want to take the whole thing apart. I took lumber up with me, and I made a floor on the bottom of it on 16-inch centers. I just framed it out with 2x4s. It's just foam, so you don't really have much to screw to, but I was just making like a base platform to go on the bottom of it. I had brought some plywood up, and I didn't cut it to fit or anything. I just fit the pieces in there that would go over that floor that I'd made, and that way we could pry up each of the 4 corners, and I slid the straps underneath it. You could do this a couple different ways. I was fortunate enough to have a crane on my truck, so we were able to just pick it up, slide a strap under the 4 corners, pick it up with the crane, and swing over and set it onto a trailer. If I had it to do all over again, like I don't have a crane right now, I would probably just rent a telehandler on site. I mean, you're going to be out a couple $100, but really not much in the end of things. You know, and sometimes if there's a local construction crew or skid steer or whatever, you could get the same thing done. Picked it up, set it on the trailer. I had to put railroad ties on the trailer to account for the fenders, so that way I wasn't setting the building or the walk-in on top of those fenders. Put it on the trailer, brought it up here, and it sat for a year, I guess. I sold the compressor unit off of it, and that was enough to pay for a window unit, brand new, and the CoolBot system to run that window unit. What that CoolBot system does is that will trick the window unit into believing it's warmer than it is, and will help it to run colder. That's why I'm able to do this with a window unit, and I got it down to 34 degrees. We poured a concrete pad. We kind of sloped the edges of the pad, or the edges of the pad towards the center. I had a plastic grate from Home Depot or Lowe's, and it's just a 4-inch French drain grate, and then I carried that on out the back. But that way, if we're rinsing down an animal that we've got hanging in there, or we just want to clean this thing a couple times a year, we can wash it. It all goes to the center drain and out the back. No big deal. I did some trading with a gentleman, and he came and did all my metal work. So I will show you here in a minute. There's more to it that meets the eye. But one of the main things is I had this beam put in with a trolley. And so, let's see if I can do this. This trolley, we can hang animals out here, and it will go right in through that hole. Now that hole is just closed off with some pieces of foam at the moment. Helps keep the cold air in. Just pop them out, and the trolley will run right in through that hole when the door is open. This is all 4-inch I-beam, so I mean, we could quarter up a cow or whatever, deer is not going to be a problem. I had a hydrant put right here, so that way we can rinse off and kind of keep the animals clean. I did have to redo some of the weather stripping on the door. It was kind of janky and wasn't sealing right. And I was able to get like another 4 degrees out of the walk-in by doing that. So that helped a bunch. So let me take you inside. So we got some deer hides hanging up from last season. I did some trading with a gentleman, and he redid a lot of my electric. So we've got about an 18-inch shelf going all the way around. Let me see if I can do this. So this goes all the way around the whole building interior, and then back here on the back wall, actually on the, I guess that would be my north side wall, I have 2 shelves. And so the reason being for that was that we'd be able to stack vegetables or whatever in here from the garden and keep it cool. The CoolBot we can adjust so it doesn't have to be 34 degrees. I mean, we could have it just 65 in here or whatever. We can adjust it in between. This is just an LG 15,000 BTU window unit. I don't think I can get to the specs the way things are set up in here to be able to send you a picture or include it in the video rather. So we set the building over top that concrete frame. We had our drain made into the bottom, so you can see the drain running right here, and it just goes right out the back. And it starts up there at the front, almost all the way at the front of the door jamb. The I-beam runs right through that hole in the door right there and just runs all the way to the back there. So built the concrete, picked up the building, set it onto the concrete, and then the welder came out and he built all the shelving, the trolley, and all inside of here. So I didn't have to actually bolt the building down to the concrete just because all this metal keeps everything in place. Took spray cans of foam and went around all the edges. Anywhere that there might be a hole, we went ahead and just filled it in. We're trying to keep the insects and bugs out. I do spray it with like the Ortho Home Defense along the outside, just trying to keep the spiders and all from making a home in here. I don't spray inside. Actually, I take that back. I do spray on the concrete itself, but I don't spray any of the metal or the shelves. So fill in all your gaps with spray foam. Sometimes it's going to take multiple runs of that. I don't know, it probably took me 6 cans to get all the holes filled on this. But I'm out like, what? I mean, with fuel and everything, I might be out $1,500 on getting this thing here. I mean, that's covering the window unit, the metal that I did on the framing, picking up the unit itself, the CoolBot, and the concrete. It's probably, of course, I mean, prices have adjusted today, so I don't know. I got on Facebook. I was going to just include some links to like some other ones and see. Apparently the prices have kind of skyrocketed here lately. So I don't know whether you could find a smoking deal on one for $300, but I mean, they were out there that people were asking $3,000 and $4,000 when I bought this one, and I was still able to get it. So I did have the electrician. He pulled power in here, ran a new light on a switch, and then put me in an outlet for running the AC unit. And then I had him do an outlet on the outside of the building as well, so that way if we want to run a bandsaw or something like that, it is not a big deal. We've got a spot to be able to do that. So, and then so that's where our outlet power comes in right there. And then I had him just do a junction box with an outlet. Did some trading with another guy, and he was able to come out here and paint it so it matches the rest of the buildings on the place, or most of them. And then the structure on the roof was leaking, like the seams on the where the foam panels meet. They were leaking, so I took some seam tape and covered those. And then I built basically a whole nother roof on it. I'll include some pictures, but I put 1-inch foam in that and then sheet metal. And I'm just trying to prevent there being any leaks. The extra insulation on the top is certainly not hurting anything. Well, that's it. I mean, that's the walk-in. It's been in effect here, or in use here, for, say, a solid 3 years anyways. You know, we'll hang deer for 28 days. And not have a problem. If there's anything that I can, any questions I can answer, or you come up with some thoughts or ideas, then feel free to holler. I am working on, I got to get that light fixture replaced so that I can have some more outdoor lights. And the plan eventually is to pour concrete between this and that 20-foot container on my left, and then do like a roof in between those two. Just a good shade spot to be able to work in the summer, cleaning vegetables or whatever. Do a sink in here. We can run the water line off that hydrant, or I can just trench another line over. Have a concrete floor where we can clean and prep. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. I don't know if we'll ever get into the farmer's market deal or not, but if so, that'll be a good place to be able to do it. So underneath that concrete in there too, we did lay a 2-inch foam board and then poured the concrete on top, just to help, just to keep that concrete separate from the earth, so that way we weren't just a constant drain on the system where the earth isn't trying to warm up that concrete. So we were trying to just create a little bit of a barrier there. And then just for giggles, we'll walk to the back and I'll show you the drain where it comes out. So the outside of the window unit, it's just nothing fancy. And I mean, yeah, you're gonna get, you know, you get little dings and dents, but for $300 in a walk-in, you really can't beat it. So that's just the 4-inch drain right there. That's where it comes out. Nothing special. So anyways, I hope the video was helpful. If there's something I can do or answer, feel free to comment, ask. Just trying to share what knowledge I've got and pass it on to others, and hopefully be able to get them out there and do things on their own place. So thank you all very much. We'll talk to you next time.